Hey, this is Uncle Walter, and I saw this movie. I just want to give my little opinion on it. I want to first start off by saying I didn't understand the big uproar about this movie. This movie is literally about someone who discovers the power of Jesus by facing the demons that lie within themselves. Now, I know people who have been in church their whole life and who have really took that indoctrination to their heart. I know why they may be a little upset and a little off put by this movie, because this movie has people in it who love God, who try to do their best to serve the Lord, but they have human issues, such as the mom. This is the lady right here in the corner. She's a white lady who is very promiscuous with black men. She has a mixed child, which is this young lady right here. Excuse me. This young lady has 3 children. These 3 children are demon possessed. Monique plays the social worker, who has a backstory of her own. And then we have the apostle right here, which was by all, and I think this is what really pissed the church people off. By all, you know, measures, she should have been the one to come in and save the day, because she was saved, called, and anointed. But anyway, let me get to the movie. Let me get to the outline of the movie. So the movie starts with the family moving into this home that I guess was deemed haunted. I guess people died in this home, and the spirit that killed the first family still lingered there and was trying to kill the family that moved in. By the way, they say this was based on a true story. The mom, at first, wasn't abreast of everything that was going on, as far as it being spiritual, punishing the kids for things that they may not have been doing, not understanding why they're sleepwalking, not understanding why they're doing certain things, acting out in certain ways. And I think this bears some, elaborating on. I think sometimes we as parents, you do have to understand that everything is not always going to be understood from a natural standpoint. Some things that go on in your children's life are indeed spiritual. Not that you need to run and go get a priest, but sometimes, you just need to be able to connect to the higher power, the God of your understanding, and receive some instructions on a whole nother level as it relates to dealing with your child. Monique's character comes in, and she is, of course, suspicious of the mom being abusive to the children. And she's trying to hold the mom accountable. But just like in most cases, when you are not ready to have that talk to yourself in the mirror, to look at yourself in the mirror and hold yourself accountable, when someone else holds you accountable, it feels like an attack. I didn't feel like there was anything demonic about this movie in that sense. We all need a Monique's character in our life that's willing to see past all of the facades we put up and call us out on our shit. And Monique wasn't doing it for selfish gain. She was really concerned about the children. By the way, Monique was serving looks in this movie. And so was this white chick. I forgot her name, but she was serving looks as well. When she was done up, when that wig came off and she was talking about nappy pussy, we'll get to that in a minute. Anyway, as the movie progresses, the children become more and more possessed, or the demon manifests itself more and more in the children. And then they introduce this character who is an apostle. And as I stated earlier, by all measures, she should have been the one with the power to cast out the demon, the power to lay hands, the power to set the devil ablaze and put things in the right place. But when it came time for the rubber to hit the road, she didn't have the goods. And everybody's saying, we were rooting for you. I wasn't rooting for you, because we have to stop looking for help outside of ourselves. We have to understand people come to plant, people come to water, but it's our relationship with God that's going to yield that increase. So she was there. She served her purpose. Her purpose, when she was introduced to the movie, her purpose was to introduce the mom to a new relationship with Christ, a new relationship with God. And she should have left it at that if the mom wasn't ready for her to be up in her house doing whatever she was doing. Anyway, so she started praying and stuff, and she ended up dying. The demon ended up killing her. Like she didn't have the goods. Then this one started having a, well, hold on. Before she died, this one got possessed with the devil, and she started telling her that she could smell her nappy pussy. That took me out. Whoever wrote that line, comedy gold. But if you've ever dealt with demonic or darkness, you know they say some of the funniest and craziest shit and do some of the weirdest stuff. So anyway, there's that. I want to get down to the basement. At the end, they have this scene at the very end of the movie where the main character, which is this young lady here, she starts having dialogue and she starts fighting with the demonic manifestation of herself. While they were having this dialogue, she had to approach this thing with no fear. And a lot of times when we start talking about not having fear, you know, we thinking about smoke and mirrors, but a lot of times the fear comes in with you facing yourself. While she was having dialogue with herself, her dark side began to bring up her shortcomings. It began to exacerbate her shortcomings, you know, how maybe she cussed, maybe she liked to fuck a lot, maybe she liked to drink a little too much than she should, you know, bitch, you hooked on drugs, you know, all of the dark shit that she did in her life, the demon began to exacerbate. The dark side also began to highlight her hangups. And a lot of times this is what it does to us. This is why a lot of us can't get over ourselves, because we don't know how to silence those things in our lives. And we allow our shortcomings to stop us from pursuing greater. We allow our hangups to stop us from pursuing greater or even stepping outside of our use. And this allows us to stay bound by the dark side, by the darkness. Through all of this, though, she was able to push past the darkness, and she was able to forge a relationship with the light that lives within her. Understanding everyone is dealt a measure of faith. We all have a measure of God in us. There is a measure of light given to everyone. And see, the part I like about this movie is because it's illuminating the fact that when you have a real relationship and connection with God, you will always carry more weight with you than someone who has more head knowledge. Never be intimidated by someone who can quote 50 scriptures. Just because you can quote 50 scriptures don't mean shit. Baby, I walked through the valley in the shadow of death, so I don't need nobody to validate what the hell I'm saying. If don't nobody say amen, bitch, I got the amen on the inside of me. Fuck the bullshit. Here's what's the crux of it. In order for her to get that deliverance for her and her family, she had to be willing to let go of the benefit of the darkness in her. And there was a benefit to it. The benefit was people knew not to fuck with her because she was 100% that bitch. She was hard as hell. And she was absolutely not to be fucked with on any level. This is not to say that when you walk in light, you're a pushover and people can walk all over you. But this is to say the intention behind what you do is pure when you're operating from a position of light. Our sister was able to purge herself from evil intention and operate from a standpoint of light. And when she was able to do that, then her whole family was free. Notice this also happened when she was isolated from everyone else. Sometimes you have to get isolated and separated from people in order for you to get deliverance, to in turn allow deliverance to come to them. Anyway, I like this movie. I definitely would watch this movie again. It wasn't as bad as everybody. Oh, you're opening portals. Don't be scared of shit like that. You can't. Some people are so saved they don't enjoy nothing. They can't enjoy the cookout. Anyway, what did y'all think about the movie? Did I miss something? Is there something you maybe want to point out? Stitch this video, make a comment. Let's get into it.